The next part of becoming a creator and thinking like a creator, this one's so important. It's using mistakes and using failure as a way to help yourself as a creator, as a way to take the next step forward. If you only think of failure as a step backwards, as something to avoid, as something that is bad, then you'll never get all the benefits from all the projects that you're doing. You'll hold yourself back, as opposed to seeing mistakes, seeing failure as an opportunity to rethink, to grow, to come at something a better way, because that mistake is going to make you better. Now, I've made so many mistakes, and I'm open about all the different failures, all the failed ventures that I have, all the mistakes I made. I tell my students a mistake I make every day almost. And mistakes are good. If you want to be really good at something, you're going to need to make more mistakes at that thing. So someone who's paid to be a musician, a classical musician, they need to practice up to 8 hours every single day. And they're not practicing perfectly the whole time. They're practicing seeing what mistakes they make and then fixing those mistakes. They're trying to notice their mistakes and fix them. That's the way we need to think as creators. We notice the mistakes that we make, and we try not to ever repeat that mistake. So if you've messed up 10,000 ways, but you've learned and you haven't repeated them, you're probably the best person out there at that thing. Mistakes are good. Mistakes are normal part of the process, and you're just going to make mistakes. That's why we practice. That's why homework exists. Homework doesn't exist for you to go home and do it perfectly. Homework exists for you to go home, make mistakes, figure out what mistakes you're making, and then fix them before you take the test. That's what homework should be anyway. So failure is just a normal part of success. Anyone anywhere who is a success has lots of failures in their past. You don't see this failure, led them to try this, maybe that failed, led them to try this, maybe that succeeded, but then the next thing didn't work out the way they wanted to, they wound up over here. What ends up happening though is that they start learning, and it's still a progression, and they still make progress like a stairway by those failures. And instead of giving up, you've got to come at it a different way. You got to figure out what you did wrong. You have to listen to advice. There's all sorts of things you can do with failure that aren't just give up. So don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't be afraid of failure. Start learning from it. Start laughing at yourself. The thing that you need to remember is that you need curiosity, you need kindness, and you need the willingness to look stupid. That's a fairly famous quote for what it takes to be a successful anything. You need curiosity, you need kindness, and you need the willingness to look stupid and just be a beginner, to make mistakes, to fail at that thing. It doesn't really matter, because nobody's perfect when they start. And so many people hold themselves back and they don't pursue whatever it is they should be pursuing because they're afraid of failing. That life would just be better if people could be supportive and help each other